think a big part of this job is being addicted to social media yourself.
That sounds terrible.
But it's the truth. I posted a video thinking no one was going to see it. I think it ended up hitting like 8 million on my first video.
Like, what was the biggest paycheck you ever got from TikTok, from the Creator Fund?
Maybe like...
Welcome to Great Take, a video production and marketing podcast based in Austin, Texas. We are real practitioners working in the field, producing everything from TV commercials to social media content, and then running that content through every marketing channel on earth. We see what works and what flops, and we'll cover it all on this show. If you're interested in video production or leveraging video to supercharge your marketing, you have come to the right place. Kayla, as someone who got their start as an influencer, where's the money? Where do you get money as an influencer?
It's definitely not from these creator funds that everyone's trying to get in. Brand deals, 100%.
What happened to the Creator Fund?
It's just, you got to think about it. Like Snapchat Spotlight, when that first started, and everyone was getting on there to try and transition from TikToks and from Reels, you were getting massive payouts through these because the market was not saturated. So you could put the dumbest video on there. If you got 100 views, you can get $1,000 from that.
No way.
Yeah.
And did you do that with Snapchat?
Yes.
With Spotlight?
Yes. And like I would get 50 views on something and get big payouts. And now like you have to get tens of thousands to get any payout.
And you built your early career on TikTok, getting hundreds of thousands of followers in sort of like the glory days of TikTok, COVID TikTok.
It was amazing. Yeah. I mean, I posted a video thinking no one was going to see it. Woke up the next morning, my sister walks out and she says, "Why are you on my For You page? This video's got 1 million views." And from there, I was like, we were in the kitchen watching the views go up and up and up and up. I think it ended up hitting maybe like 8 million on my first video. And I was like, okay, so I got to keep this momentum going, even if I'm posting dumb little things every day, just to go and, continue to make money off of it.
Like, what was the biggest paycheck you ever got from TikTok, from the Creator Fund?
Maybe like 6,000 or 7,000.
And that's for a month?
Mm-hmm.
No way. That's awesome.
I feel like I didn't work through my early college because of that. So it allowed me to take these like little side jobs that weren't paying much, but I was also like, splitting the money with Tanner at the time and doing whatnot. But yeah.
And it's a well-known fact now that Creator Fund just like dried up, that they stopped incentivizing, they stopped paying out once they had built up the platform. And so what was that like for you to go from making all this money as an influencer to now it not producing what it used to do?
I mean, I think that's a big reason why I got into doing it for other people. It's because you just know, like there's certain careers that you're just not going to last in because the market's not going to be there forever. And so as soon as that money started to dry up and brand deals were slowing down, I was like, well, I know how to do this for me. I can do it for other people now.
That's great. What made you want to stop being an influencer?
I think within my niche, doing couples content specifically, I became really self-aware that everything was scripted on social media. It's like every moment that you want to go viral, you had to curate it. So now every date night that we had, I was popping up a camera. Every cute thing that he did, I was opening my phone and trying to say like, hey, do that again. Or a date night, we would put down 30 minutes to just create a couple car jams or do whatnot. And it just became really scripted. And honestly, it started to affect our relationship because it felt more like, work. And so once that started influencing like the day-to-day, I said no more. It's not worth it for the long run, even though it was nice when it lasted.
And I wouldn't describe that as like the dark side of influencing, but that kind of illuminates that like if you get into this influencer world, you have to keep the momentum going in order to maintain the audience, to maintain the paychecks. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much work that is and how much how much you have to devote your life to that and in a sense, like not have a normal life.
Yeah, I also think you just lose so much of your authentic self because you're chasing what's going to get you views, what's going to go most viral, how to be controversial. It's like everything is scripted. Everything is scripted on social media.
Did you feel like you had your own reality TV show?
Yeah. I mean, I just like any moment that was really authentic and great, I would want to be like taking out my phone to re-record it so that it would go viral, or knowing that some big event was going to happen. You're always like keeping an eye out for what to capture, and then always having a camera on you too. It's hard.
Yeah. Tell me about the agency side of things. What is, having been an influencer and now being director of a social media agency, how do those skills translate, and how do you still kind of find the fun in social media?
Once you know how to do it for yourself, I think it opens a lot of doors for other people because you know what, works on social media, you know what everyone's looking for, you know the behind the scenes on how you make money. And so I think that's translated a lot with clientele now. It's like, do you want a personal brand? Do you want to make money off social media? Are you willing to be consistent? How many times are we going to, you know, film content, and are we going to post every single day because you know what works? I think in an agency setting now, like, it's nice to not be doing it and like have to be in front of the camera all the time. And being in that director position is it's fulfilling because you know how to see that vision through for other clients. And simple enough, we have many that have gained a really large following, yeah, very quickly, organically, because the secret sauce, the consistency with it. And like once that works, you just keep that momentum going.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your process of working with clients. How do you, tell me about writing scripts, researching trends. How do you keep clients consistent and making relevant content?
I think a big part of this job is being addicted to social media yourself.
That sounds terrible,
It's
though.
so bad, but it's the truth. I think anyone who's like really successful devotes majority of their time to their craft. And so if you're chronically online, then you know like what the trends are, what to tap into. There's only so much stuff that market research can do for you when you're not like living it day to day. So I think in terms of process, having that daily interaction and having like a good community to bounce ideas off of, that helps when you're coming up with content ideas and staying relevant. And I think right now, social media is such a Gen Z driven force to be reckoned with. And so being Gen Z, I think just naturally positions me, especially starting like right in 2020. You're thinking about Kobe, you're thinking about TikTok starting. That was the prime to get in anything. If you were there March 2020, you're most guaranteed to go some kind of level of influencing if you were consistent, because the market was just starting up and anything performed. And then once you figured out, how to continue going through that, it was like not a lot of people. There's a lot of people now that are trying to get to that point, and the market's so saturated that you have to be really unique. You have to be willing to perform over sometimes putting out stuff that's really branded.
How do you decompress from social media when social media is your job?
That's a great question. You don't. I don't think you do. I feel like there's only
We should have a one-on-one about this, about setting some parameters for you and your mental health.
there's like it's hard because you can decompress from watching inspirational content for your clients, but then I think you fall on like a brain rot side of everything. It's like that you need to be keeping up with the trends in some form, but you yourself are becoming addicted to watching what's out there. So decompression is really just like hanging out with other people and putting your phone down, putting your computer down. I have a really bad habit of keeping my computer open when I get home and just continuing. But I think everyone's personalities are different. Like I wish I could sit down and read a book now. But now I'm like, oh, what's going on online? Let's continue scrolling. So I don't know. How do you decompress?
My kids.
Yeah. Funny enough, my decompression is playing Mario Party for hours. Even though it's another social thing, I feel like, I don't know, it's stupid. But that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Well, and there are many times throughout my day that are no phone times. I wish I was more intentional about that, but like if I'm exercising, I'm not on my phone. If I'm playing with my kids, I'm not on my phone. If I'm driving, I'm trying to not be on my phone. And those are usually like the times that I can either like listen to a podcast or like, call a family member, call a friend. or, when I'm just like playing around with my kids. Those are times that I try to protect from being on our phone. But I think that's a huge challenge of being in this industry is like we all know that social media is addictive. And so I think we have to be intentional about putting some guardrails on our life and having some moments where we touch grass, where we interact with people in the real world, because we're exposed to it. Like we're exposed to social media all the time, and we're adults. Like it is on us; it's our responsibility to have guardrails about that. But I think that's if you're in this industry and you're ambitious about this industry, it is hard to kind of pull away from it because you want to stay in touch and stay on top of trends.
Yeah. Your comment about touching grass made me laugh because I've actually gone in my backyard to lay in the grass and just stare at the sky just to like decompress sometimes.
It's a real
Oh,
thing.
it is real. As someone who is in the creative industry and has been kind of building this brand and this business, what was the first hire that you needed to do and like how did that come about? Why did you decide to take that route?
My first hire was just an intern. And at that time, I was doing a lot of commercial photography and I really just needed an assistant. And so I hired an assistant to help me out on shoots and then, essentially like hold the bounce board and help with gear. And I learned a huge lesson from that, from just that, $15 an hour intern was that one, it was helpful for them to be with an older person who was further along in the industry. But two, it was super helpful for me as kind of a future business owner to just learn some managerial experience. Like it taught me that it's not all about a paycheck. It's really about creating an environment that people want to work in and also creating like a mood and a setting, in a tone on your shoots and in your office that people enjoy being in. We have a culture of approachability. I think anyone in our office, you can walk up and ask a question and they will smile and answer the question and then ask you a question and see how you're doing as well. And I think that's something we've been really intentional about in fostering in our company is it's just a culture where people, one, we're super picky about who we work with. Like we want the type of people that you can go work a 12, 14-hour shoot day and still be best friends with at the end of the day, or still give high fives and hugs at the end of the day. And so we try to find people that are fun, that are helpful, that are friendly, that are problem solvers, not complainers. And then we've tried to build a team of those people in our office.
If you're striving for that in the early stages though, do you go through growing pains of like finding the right fit?
I can't remember who said it, but someone said, I can't work with you until I know how to work with you, or I can't work with you until I know I can work with you. And so I have a tendency to hire people as a contractor for a few months first, just to see how things work out, and then move them into a full time position after that. Or we just go through an interview process where we really, um, ask questions, do it in person, get a feel for them, maybe invite them out to a shoot to kind of work with them a little bit before we bring them on full time. I think from the very beginning, Dorothy and I have been very intentional about the team that we've built. And so we've always, and it's really kind of from a selfish perspective, we've always just looked for people that we enjoyed working with and that we enjoyed spending, 8 hours a day or more with. It's always been my perspective that I would much rather you be a culture fit than worry about your skill set because the skill set can be developed. The culture fit is much harder to develop. You usually come with your, whether you fit or you don't into a culture. Um, and that really spans like if you look at our crews, you will see a great diversity of people. But what the common denominator is folks that are helpful, friendly, approachable, joyful, and want to be creative problem solvers, not complainers.
No one will ever yell at you. We don't curse much. We're not very edgy. We just like making nice, creative marketing campaigns with nice people. That is your job description for every job. Tell me why.
We put that at the beginning of every job description because those are the folks that we want to work with. And honestly, it's pretty selfish. If I have to spend 8 hours a day at work, 5 days a week, I just want to work with nice people. And what's interesting about putting that in our job description is that people bring that up in interviews all the time. and they'll say, I read this in the job description, and this sounds like such a great environment to be in. Um, and that's what we want. We want the people that see that paragraph and identify with it and desire that to come work for us. And then once they're here, we will maintain that culture around them so that it lives up to that paragraph.
Okay, so given that job description, all the people that you've hired, do they abide by that rule of no cursing?
So, important distinction. We do not have a rule of no cursing, but we do have a culture of no cursing. And I think that is a distinction because we simply choose the type of people that are not going to drop F-bombs all the time. And also, it comes from top down. We want to create an environment that's gentle, an environment that's ambitious and creative and hardworking, but is also friendly and gentle, because that's the type of environment that I want to work in. And we have found that that's the type of people that we attract here. And so we don't have a rule of no cursing, but we do have a culture of no cursing. And so that's not to say that, like, your pay will get docked if you curse in our office. That's not a thing. But it is to say that when someone drops an F-bomb around here, it's like a little weird. I am not apologetic about that because, one, it's the environment that I want to be in. Two, one of my favorite compliments that we get from clients that we get frequently is, your crew was such a joy to work with. They were so fun to work with. They were so nice and polite. They had such great manners. And that makes me so proud as a business owner to know that the people that are going out there representing our brand and our company are doing it like that, to the point where our clients give us that feedback all the time. And so as the years have gone by, as this culture has become stronger, it's become very precious to me and something that I really want to protect, and something that I think the people that come here and work here identify, appreciate, and notice the difference when they're coming from other agencies, or they go on to other agencies after this. And so it's something that's special to me and that I want to maintain as we continue to grow.
Absolutely. I think with protecting culture specifically and the integration with social media, how do you navigate, having different personalities or different social presences on their own personal social media, like when you're hiring people or having people work here, that distinction? Because sometimes it's a split personality that you can get.
Yeah, this is a good question. I think what I would say is that I've never wanted to be the most casual office in town. I've never wanted to be the most raunchy, edgy, controversial agency in town, because we're not those things, because I'm not those things. And I think because of that, because people see people who come to work for me or come to work for this agency, I think they see that from top down. Austin is like the most casual city in America. If you wear a suit anywhere, it's like kind of odd in Austin. And I mourn for that a little bit. I kind of like dressing up for work. I kind of like dressing more professional. And what can I say? Like, I'm a marketer. Presentation matters. And so the way we present ourselves as an agency, the way we present ourselves as marketers, I think all of that matters. And so for that reason, we do have a little bit of a dress code here. You can't wear yoga pants to work. We even discourage you wearing graphic tees to work because I'd rather see you in a collared shirt. There are a lot of people that are turned off by having any kind of dress code at an office, and there are plenty of offices where they can work where there is no dress code. But for us, for our culture, for what we're trying to build, I want there to be a degree of professionalism in everything that we do, and that comes down to the way you speak, and it comes down to the way you dress and the way you present yourself. And I'm unapologetic about that.